Hello students, myself Rajkumar Meena, Assistant Professor in English, posted at Babu Shobaram Arts College, Alwar. Today, with the help of this video, I will make you try to understand why Francis Bacon is known as father of English essay. Francis Bacon was born in the renowned Elizabeth in year 1561. His father, Nicholas Bacon, was the Lord Keeper of Queen Elizabeth. He founded politics, learnedness, diplomacy in heritage. He was educated at Cambridge and also spent 3 years in France to complete his education. Bacon attracted to the court, and as a child, the queen used to call him her young Lord Keeper. In year 1580, after the death of his father, he became the Member of Parliament through his high contacts. Bacon did not had good turning with the Queen. During her reign, he had sought repeatedly for high office, but his career was blocked by Burlingame. After the reign of Elizabeth James I was her successor with his accession in year 1603, he got the favor of the king and was knighted in the same year. Later on, in year 1630, he was made Attorney General and was the chief spokesman of the king theories of divine right. Due to his devotion, he was appointed to his father's office, Lord Keeper of the Seal, in year 1670, and the very next year to the high office of the Lord Chancellor. With this speedy growth, Bacon speedily made enemies by using the office to increase his personal, and in year 1621 the Parliament assembled and vented its distrust in James and his favourites. The Parliament found Bacon guilty of accepting bribes and practicing corrupt dealing. He was sentenced a fine of 40,000 and imprisonment of few days. He was also exiled from the court and other offices forever. Bacon now withdrew himself permanently from public life and paid his full attention towards writing and study. The collection of his 58 essays was republished in year 1625, just the year before his death. In 1626, he died while he was experimenting with snow. So, this was a brief introduction to the life history of and achievements of Francis Bacon. Now, we can elaborate and explain why Bacon's essays are known as the best or masterpiece of his essays, and why he is renowned as called as the father of English essay. Bacon was the first to write essay in English. That's why he deserved the position of being the father of English essay. Though he regarded Latin the only language worthy of a great work, but in year 1597 he came out of with 10 essays written in English. The language he used was marvelous, pithy, suggestive, and full of experience. The success of these essays starts with everybody. In year 1612, 12 a collection of Bacon's 38 essays, including the previous 10, was published by giving extra charm and thought he published the final volume of his 58 essays in year 1625. Bacon wrote almost on every subject related to the human life. His essays from three major themes are as per man in relationship with God, man in relationship with himself. So far as the subject of his essays are concerned, they have been written under the five major subjects. First, literary; second, legal; third, socio-legal; fourth, philosophical; and fifth, political. Bacon's essays are the example of worldly wisdom and practical experience. His continuous flow of arguments, quotation, anecdotes, conceits, and demonstration are suggestive of his great confidence of expressions. In the very opening line, Bacon takes up the subject matter. Sometimes it seems as if the first line has been expanded in the form of essay. The terseness in the every essay shows Bacon's ability to say the most in the fewest. His lines are also pregnant of meaning that they can expand it up to a paragraph. Revenge is a kind of a vile justice. The opening line of the essay of revenge is so treacherous that it contains the essence of the whole idea. In his essay, Bacon keeps himself aloof from the moral consideration. Though he condemns cunningness, he sometimes suggests a course of immoral actions without hesitation. In his essay of truth, he suggested that a mixture of falsehood is right proportion in a right proportion in truth will be beneficial. A mixture of lie don't ever add pleasure. In his essay related to society and common man, he pays much attention towards advantage and disadvantage. In his essay, Married and Single Life, he writes, unmarried men are the best friend, best master, best servants, but he also tells one disadvantage and adds not always the best subjects. Bacon's religion's ideas are also the product of his head and not of his heart. He makes a clear distinction between faith and reason. Religion seems to have played a very little part in his life, and his essay through in his of unity of religion, he admits that religion is the chief bond of human society. Though we can say that Bacon was a great successful statesman, therefore he shares his experience as a politician in his essay. The political essays of Bacon are the best example of his wisdom, practical experience and learnedness. In his essay of politics, he advised that the native should be treated justly and sympathetically. He writes, for instance, if you plant where savages do not only entrain them with the terrificals and the jingles, but use them justly and graciously, with a sufficient guard nevertheless. To the king and the princess, he gives a various kind of advices an of revenge, of empire, of ambitious, of followers, of friends, of fiction, a console, and many more ideas. Bacon, as a writer, has also holds all power of being a great essayist. He was not only the first to write essay but also employ a style that is lucid, terse, direct, suggestive, economic, and pertinent and plain. In spite of the short sentence, there is a not that is hidden meaning in his works. He used similes and metaphors frequently to give his style a poetic touch, and since he was a learned person, he drew his image from books. The frequent use of quotations make his composition not full of excessive detail but a witful composition of a learned man. The quality of his style varies into two different ways. Macaulay first time highlighted the difference between the style when he founded that the sentence in the early essays are left unconnected, whereas in later essay he used conceives and conjunction. We can say that Bacon's essays are the handbook of rules of living a better life. He doesn't believe in ideal virtues, rather practical experiences. He has written almost on every subject related to the human affairs. One can use them as the result of experience more than have been written in a clear and short style. One can easily go through on the essay within a 10 to 20 minutes. Bacon may be charged for his didactic attitude, but it was the demand of the age. He wrote not for the saints, philosophers, and the poet, but for the common man, so that they could be benefited. He himself writes that his essays came home to man's business and bosoms. We find a clear influence of Renaissance on him also. He represents this spirit in his essay and really made fit to be used by common man.